Hello, welcome. All right, this reading is for my single subscribers. Okay, so make sure you subscribe because I'll be doing more of these where I'm really intending to hit the subscriber only target audience. And I didn't label this way, but I will. But this is for my subscribers only. What you need to know currently about the dating scene, confirmation, information, whatever spirit is willing to give to you currently that could assist you while you are single, okay? Or if you're contemplating being single, because honestly, you could find yourself in a situation where you might as well be single. So anyway, take it as it resonates. We're going to get started shortly. I just need to get a lighter for our holy smoke, okay? Be right back. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. All praise to the Most High. Trust your intuition over mine. So let's see. What's, let's see. Let's just get a few situations. See what some of the issues are. I'm going to start off with this spiritual as fuck deck. So, it's just to kind of gauge the temperament. Because it's kind of early in the day. It is Friday, though, so this is the perfect energy to be coming through for the weekend. But it's just early, so I'm just wondering, what's the temperament? Why are we here on the dating scene specifically? Be the person you needed when you were a kid. Okay. So maybe someone with children. Could be someone with children. You could be, I feel like a lot of single parents or separated, people who are separated from someone else. They just got out of a marriage or a long-term relationship. There's also a lot of like open relationships where maybe they're free to date other people, or they're looking for someone to join their current connection. So something about this is about prioritizing the person that you're going to connect with. Like, it's very important that they have certain values, that maybe they have children themselves, that they exhibit certain qualities. Like, there's you already have pretty much a list, I feel, of the specifics that you're looking for. Or if you don't, possibly that's what you need. Is just like to write down some of your specifics. Even if you know them mentally, there's something about putting it on paper that holds power. So you're like writing it in stone, maybe even in your mind, okay, to say this is what I want or this is what I need. And knowing that this is what you want to attract, okay? So let's see. Yeah, boundaries too, because you can kind of let anybody come through, like whoever this is in the comments. Exactly right, weirdos like Brew Crew. Brew Crew is a weirdo. And so that's exactly what I'm talking about, is you don't want to attract weirdos by not being specific. So like I said, I meant to put in subscribers only for this reading just because of the energy that I'm starting with. And you see, because I was not specific, I ended up allowing somebody who thought that it would be okay to come in my channel and say whatever it is that they're saying, or feel however. You're not even invited. Like, how you gonna hate outside of a club you're not invited to? So that's the thing too, is that you eliminate a lot of ill-intentioned people from being able to come towards you, because you are setting up these boundaries, because you have this specifics. And when you write it down, it's almost like it's on the forefront of your mind, even if you're not talking about it, even if you're not saying anything. Your energy, that's how it's reading to the people that you're connecting with. Like, they're wondering, do I measure up? They're seeing you have standards, or there's a certain, I can't just do anything. Like, I got to be a certain way with this kind of person. That might not be my person. So you may have people that don't waste your time if you get more assertive and committed mentally with what you absolutely can't deal with, okay? Knowing what you desire is important, but also knowing what is like a no, absolutely not. You need to know that too. Okay, what else do we have on here? When you are wrong, admit it. When you are right, be quiet. Okay, so that kind of feels like a feminine thing. You have feminine energies who are very mouthy, maybe even alpha females. You may be doing very well for yourself financially, or you could be like at the top of your game financially, your business or your career. You're a go-getter. Okay, that's all beautiful. It's wonderful. I'm all for that. Bad bitches, really. Okay, you doing the damn thing. But you don't want to do it so much and become so mean or so masculine, because that is your masculine energy. But you want to temper it out with the femininity. And you don't want to become so masculine and so alpha that you end up turning off the alpha males that you actually want to attract. Now, there are some masculine feminine who prefer men that they can take care of, men that will bend and yield to their will. They may prefer to hold man on a string more so than they feel comfortable being vulnerable, because when you are vulnerable to a man, you are essentially handing him your strings. Somebody gets the strings, and it should go back and forth, but dominantly, where there is like a masculine dominant male and there is a submissive dominant female, a submissive female, 9 times out of 10 is going to be the masculine is holding the strings the majority of the time. But you could be on the other end of the, dynamic. And if you don't want to be, then that's something to be aware of, because you could have the tendency to get too far off into your masculine energy. So you're like actually repelling the very man that you want. You could tend to get those kind of men that like to friend zone you. Okay, depending on your demeanor, depending on how fun you are, or, like that relaxed kind of chill, down to earth vibe. You may find that you get friend zoned a lot by the man you want. What else is coming through? There's also maybe a small intimidation factor, but likely the guys that you're intimidating, they aren't for you. Because even if you were to put down your alpha female, and settle into more of maybe your sigma female energy, that man may still be intimidated by your success. They still may be intimidated by what it is you're able to do. So I feel like I got some feminines who are not attracting the masculines that they want, or if they are attracting them, they're not getting the kind of attention that they want, or these masculine are not pursuing them the way that they want. Okay, so maybe you get a lot of buzz, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of follow through. And it could be that alpha male that's like attached to you. Now, for some of you, is your alpha energy, your masculine energy, like I said, is too temperamental or too much. But some of you have a lot of masculine friends that have friend zoned you, but their energy is connected with you. So that could also send signals to a very intuitive male who wants to date you. Another thing is sometimes you'll come off as you're taken. So like when you're out on the street or when you're out in these places on the dating scene, you seem unapproachable. You seem like you don't want to be approached. You seem like you don't want anyone trying to waste your time, or, you know, it's like, don't even try. Okay, so that could be a thing too. And I keep hearing recently, a friend of mine said it to me, and then I just heard it on a live I was watching. The RBF, resting bitch face. Okay, that's that type of energy too. Okay, where it's just that you're in your masculine energy, and you could be in a dynamic where the person that you're connecting with, there's another dominant masculine energy or alpha energy in the room. And when you internalize yourself, you tend to be very serious, but also very guarded, like, you know, kind of on guard. So that can send the wrong signal. It could send a signal that you're not looking, that you don't want to be approached, but you're coming off as unapproachable. Some men even take it as you may be like trying to compete with them. So that's giving, okay, you may attract females too. You may attract a lot more females than men. Okay, and that could be a reason. All right, last one is grab your own butt and love yourself. Now this energy actually feels maybe the most fun and playful out of all of them. Lots of self-love here. And like a new sense of confidence. So you're stepping on the scene with a lot of love for yourself, with a lot of self-confidence. And you're coming off as like choosing yourself. Like, you know, you could take or leave whatever is being offered. So you don't come off as needy. You're not coming across as desperate. You're also coming across, though, as not somebody who's wet behind the ears or naive by any means. So I don't know if you are like in age, you could be very mature, or you just have a mature energy, or you've just been very experienced when it comes to relationships or being single on the dating scene. Like you kind of know what to do. You know who you are. You know how to move with the opposite sex or the sex that you're interested in. And that's coming across like, so you should be attracting people. And if not, it may be where you are going. It may be where you're putting yourself out there, like the dating scenes that you are connecting to. That may not be the scene for you. Those people, you may have graduated those individuals. You may have graduated that, I don't know. It's like a bracket here that I feel you may need to broaden out or go to different spaces. You want to connect with people. If you're like in this third energy that I just got, you want to connect with people who are where you are currently or above. Like they give you something to kind of reach for, or you want to do more or be better. You want to level up. Otherwise, you're going to attract the ones who may either be intimidated or honestly a little spiteful about how much self-love you have. Like they could see it as you are conceited or you think too much of yourself. They'll want to kind of like humble you, tear you down a little bit. You wouldn't attract the right energy, because people who are insecure or do not love themselves, if you do love yourself and you're not insecure, when you're confident, you will create dis-ease for them. It's because of your light. So the light irritates people's demons and people who have a lot of insecurities that they have not conquered or dealt with or are healing or even aware of. They will literally just be triggered by your good energy. So it's not even like you're doing anything, but you'll start to feel insecure, or like maybe you did something. Okay, so you may attract a lot of people currently that make you overthink yourself or think you're not enough. And I think it's just where you're going, who you're connecting with. Okay, you need to level up. You've already leveled up. This could be a level up inside, emotionally, mentally. It could be a level up externally, your physical, your material, your financial, your body, okay, your aesthetic, how you look on the outside, you know, the things you have or whatever. You've experienced some kind of level up, so you kind of need to start moving around in different spaces with people who kind of mirror where you are currently. And I mean that on whatever you've been working on. Okay, because you could have been working on the inside, but you don't have a whole new job. You don't have brand new money, you know, so that's going to come across different as someone who's been working on the inside, and they also have, you know, brand new money, brand new this. It'll also come across different as someone who has been going to the gym and getting really fit and has the outfits, but they haven't been doing the work internally. So you just need to find like your group that kind of, the people tend to mirror you. Mirror you or give you something to aspire to. Don't go so far that you feel out, like push yourself to come out of your comfort zone, but don't get so far that all of the insecurities you just conquered come back to the surface. That may be a jump that's too far ahead. There's like a middle ground, and that could be where you are right now. All right. All right, so let's stay here and see what's going on these dating scenes. So for those of you with children, or those of you who are looking to start a family, and you have your priorities, or you have like a list, you pretty much know the kind of person you're looking for. Your life could already be set up in such a way that you would be able to like seamlessly connect with someone and seamlessly move forward. It looks like the main key is honesty. So you could be, either you're on one side or the other. You're attracting people who seem to be very transparent and honest with you. Kind of like not needing to hide anything, even if they're not oversharing or overgiving. You could be on the need to know with somebody, and still they just give this trusting energy. Like you just tend to trust them because what they're giving you is likely relevant. And if they're not giving you anything, even that in itself is a like clarity for you. Okay, so that could be somebody that's, you might, okay, let's see. I feel like some of you are appreciating the honesty and the transparency, and then some of you are a little turned off by it. Maybe because it seems like no one's a good fit currently. What do we have? Machismo. Oh, some of you are attracting the opposite. So you could be being too transparent. You may be too open. You may be too honest. So what you're doing is triggering the man that you're connecting to, and you may resonate from what I was just telling pretty much pile 3. Okay, because I'm getting, yeah, you have children, so you love yourself. You have to. You can't love your kids if you don't love you, and if you don't love yourself, it's not time for you to date. You got to work on loving yourself so you can love those children, right? You need to be on the dating scene. So I'm going to say that you're loving yourself, you're loving your children, you're prioritizing your life and how you see it moving forward, or you're loving yourself and preparing yourself for motherhood or fatherhood, or to be a wife or husband or whatever. And so you're looking for someone that's the light. But I'm getting that you may be too open with certain things, and the people that you're connecting with, they're actually triggered by you. So you're triggering their masculine pride. You're making them feel, or you may have some that feel like they feel less of a man, okay? Or you may even have, if you're a male and you're on the dating scene, you could be too open and transparent about what you're looking for or what your needs are or what your likes are, that you have women who are tending to become kind of toxic with you, like assertive, or even giving you like a cold shoulder, acting like they don't like you more than they really do. That could be triggering and also different for you. But I think it's just because you're being expressive and open about your expectations. It's really nothing wrong about with that, but you want to be tactful in how you do it, and you also want to pay attention to how soon you're saying these things, how you're saying these things. So be mindful of your energy. This could also be the places that you're going and the people that you're talking to. Also, there's a such thing as saying too much. Yes, see, we have snack here. Some of you are even like a really good catch, I'm getting. Or you're meeting men or women, like you guys look good. You look good. And it's like less would be more. You would be more interested. You would be more... yeah, I'm just getting like you're giving everything when you just need to give a little bit. You just need to give a little bit. Spirit, yeah. Somebody super, that's, look, literally, it says supersize, doing too much, excessive, and overindulgence. I'm getting that you are likely a catch. I'm getting you're a catch. I'm getting you're a catch, but you're doing too much. It's like you're doing too much. You're kind of covering up the fact that you're a catch. So if you're doing too much, that means you may already be a great masculine. You could already be showing up in alpha energy. You are already attractive or attracting the kind of women that you want. But because you feel like you need to have this extra ego or this extra hard exterior, you're kind of giving off the wrong vibes. You also could just be speaking too much, maybe boasting too much, or, you know, just wanting someone to see your accomplishments or know your accomplishments, but it's giving off the wrong energy, as if you are overly conceited or full of self. Okay, for the feminines, you know, you may be doing too much, just doing too much. And for some of you, these are good things, but you're being too nurturing. You're being too kind. You're doing all the things, and it's nothing even, they're not showing you anything. They don't have a chance to. For some of you, you're talking about, you know, how much money you make and all the jobs that you have and all of the things that you've accomplished. And they're not feeling like, okay, well, what do you want to talk to me for? It sounds like you got it all together. So, yeah. Some of you are just giving way too much information to start with. Maybe let people ask you questions. And give them something to think about, you know. Some of you, this could also be like your dress. You could just be showing too much, not leaving anything to the imagination. Or being excessive in your dress, which is giving off, you know, there's a difference between being fashionable. That's more for, and I want to say that too for ladies, because there's a fashion sense that females are like, you can dress for the girls and they will be like, oh yes, okay, you eating, love it, all of that, right? The hair, the nails, the outfit. What happened? You want, oh, well, let's put the game up if it's making you mad. Hold on 1 second. Let me get him together. Yes. You finished brushing your teeth? Yeah, you didn't even come show me. Hold on, let me do. Okay, sorry about that, and we're back. So what I was saying, and I don't want to lose my train of thought, because it did. It triggered a memory for me, or maybe even an epiphany, just realizing something about myself. I tend to, yes, I dress according to what I would want to see if I was a man. That's just me. I tend to put myself in the potential person's shoes that I would want to be with, how I might like them to show up. And I also think about what I would like. Like, I guess because I don't know, very aware of how females dress and what I like and what I don't like. So as a man, I can also, you know, I've had experience what they tend to respond to or don't respond to. And so anyway, I dress in that sense, which would be like dressing to present myself for the position of a female in the type of man's life that I want. But then there's also another side of me which really comes from my upbringing where I didn't know I was exactly dressing for the girls, but pretty much you might as well say that because they're the ones that would appreciate that. Okay, they're the ones that know what went into that, or like how hard it is to find a piece like that, or all of that. That's like the fashion scene. So it's different because you do have to temper how you're dressing for the person that you want to attract. It's not that you're doing it for the man, or for, even if it's man, it's not that you're doing for the woman, but you want to look at the type of person you want to attract. So because attraction is the first thing. Okay, unless you're doing it online. I'm not talking about like online dating or anything like that. I'm talking about people that are attracted to you. Even if it is online and social media, it's because it's like they walk past you. They saw you, they were interested, and they want to come towards you. It's your attraction. It's how you're presenting yourself to the world. That is the kind of person you will attract. So it has a lot to do with a whole lot of things, and especially for those of you that have families, you're going to want someone who looks like they work too much to put a whole lot of effort into things, or they put effort into how they look because they're on top of things. One or the other. Because the one who is not quite putting so much attention into how they look, likely they may have their finances in order. This person, like, they don't have time for all of that. Okay, that person could actually be, maybe that's something you want. You may want to attract someone who's extremely financially stable, or very wealthy. So those are two different brackets too. The wealthy person is likely going to be looking for their opposite, somebody who maybe you don't have to have all the money because they do, but they are looking for someone who could, keep it together, pull it together, and maybe even pull it together for them once in a while. Okay, so anyway, how you're presenting yourself for whoever you want to attract, there's all different ways to present yourself, but you do need to consider that. And for some of you, you could be dressing for the girls, so you're getting a lot of attention from your female counterparts, a lot of accolades, but the man that you want don't even seem to look your way, or they do and keep it moving. And that could be for a multitude of reasons. It could be the way you're putting it together. It could be that you're doing too much, so you're giving off your you want attention. They could see you as maybe like out of their league, okay, possibly, or just maybe too flashy. It's a whole lot of things, okay, whole lot of things. Yeah, and you could give off a vibe that you have more money than you do, so you may have men who are intimidated by that, so they don't talk to you. Excuse me, even though they could be in the same category with you, but they're not going to talk to you because they're like, oh, that one, they're going to need this, they're going to want that, they're used to going here, they're not going to want to, chill with me, they're not going to, want to go for an ice cream date or a coffee date. They're going to expect this and that, 5-star restaurants, and they may see that in you, but that may not even be where you are currently, and that may not even be the thing that's highest on your priority list. But how you're presenting yourself can give a lot of information. So for some of you, I just feel like you're it, but you may not need to show all of it. You could be her, you could be him, you could be all the things. You could see yourself as a 10 or a total package in your bracket, because there's levels, but you could be a total package in your bracket, even like where you're going, how you're connecting, the people that you are attracting. You could be a 10 out of 10 in that group. But you don't need to express all of it. You don't need to talk about all of it. You don't need to show all of it. You don't, have to pull out every Louis Vuitton, Chanel, whatever, Dior. You don't have to pull it all out. You don't have to wear it all at the same time. Okay, so maybe that's something too. Someone's just a little bit too flashy or a little bit too mouthy, just talking too much or doing too much. Or it could just even be the humbleness in you. You could be way of too much service, so you're even taking yourself down a caliber. To the kind of man who would need you to be able to stand your own. They could feel like you may be too codependent, you may be too needy because of how much you're pouring in. The more you pour in, the more people think you are expecting from them. So that's another thing. All right, I didn't realize my battery was so low. So let's see what else, and then we'll get to tarot. Let's hurry up, speed it up a little bit. What's in the center here? When you're wrong, admit it. When you're right, be quiet. So I feel like this is for people who are coming back into your life. We have light bulb moment. So for some of you, you're having a lot of epiphanies or new awarenesses of people from your past. So you're feeling a different type of way. You're having these new realizations. You could even be feeling inspired to connect with, to talk to come towards, or to move on and move away from certain people. I would say that if how you're feeling now, like your light bulb moment, if it's something that you feel would help your connection, speak it. Okay? If you feel like it's something that would just rattle feathers and cause issues for you, you might as well just be quiet, even if you're right. Even if you're right, like you could cause issues with somebody that you're letting go of just because of what you're saying, which is going to keep you stuck on that person or in the energy with that person. Because if you're not going back and forth with them physically, you could still be going back and forth with them energetically, which means that your energy that would be open and would make you seem open and available so that people would want to connect with you is locked up in some past situation that you're not even connected to for real or invested in, or you don't even want to be with. But your energy is giving off, oh, they got something going on. They got too much going on. They not open. They're not emotionally available. And that's not really your truth. But it could just be that there are certain things you aren't able to keep to yourself. And so it continues to create this stream to someone that pretty much you're trying to get them out of your energy, because that past energy is keeping who you are currently from attracting a person to you. Because you're no longer a cooperative component to whoever you used to be with. There is agitation, there is tension there. So if you were to attract someone just like that person, even if you feel like I conquered that person, I could handle them in a different body, maybe it's just too much past with that person, but overall they're not all bad. So you're like, well, I could work with that. I would just do things differently. I would express myself differently. I would be clearer, more honest about certain things. I've changed up my priorities, but yeah, I could deal with somebody like that. Well, if you're still dealing with the past person, what you're also going to send signals off to the new person is all of the tensions and the aggression that you have with that past person, because it's activated in your energy because you are actively engaging energetically with that person. Even for someone new, you may not seem like you are ready for that new person because you still got that past energy activated because you're still going back and forth with the past person. So letting go of a past person is not just, or even someone that you're dealing with right now, if you're trying to clear your energy, clear blockages to allowing something new to come in, you have to really let go. And it's not always just physically. It's mentally and also emotionally. Yeah, some of you are starting off conversations with new people about your past person. That is not what that's not the way to do it. That's not the way. So that could be an issue too. It just feels like, yeah, red flags. See, some of you are coming off with red flags, and that's why. You can't stop talking about your past or the past person or what somebody did to you. You can't get out of that energy. You're still upset or you're still mad about it. So it's creating an illusion around you. That's what I feel. I feel like what you realize is how right you are, and life could just continue to confirm how right you were. But if you keep staying in that energy of really what it is like righteous indignation. It's like, I was right. I knew, I deserve. Yes, I do. Okay. But all of that is fighting energy. So that's what you're giving off on the dating scene is like, I'm stomping heads, I'm cracking heads, I'm taking names, I'm kicking ass and taking names. That is intimidating. It's like chaotic energy. So they don't know, I don't know what's really going on there. It seems a little uneasy, or it's not peaceful. Peace is inviting. Peace is like a blank slate. Peace creates opportunity for anybody to connect with you. But when you have a lot going on emotionally and energetically, and specifically on subjects where you just overcame something or you liberated yourself, like you really want to, you can enjoy it. But when you're ready for the dating scene, know that you need to turn that off. You need to detach from that. Um, you need to step into who you are outside of that battle and that overcoming type of energy, okay? Like all my life, I had to fight. Every man, every woman, they always, yeah. See, somebody is like, oh no, see, they need to heal. That's the vibe that you'll give off. It's like, oh no, they need to heal. They still mad. They not ready. Yeah, it's passionate, and it could even be, like I said, you could be healed, but your passion, that energy is tense, it's hot. It's like they're gonna have to go through a fire, and for a lot of you, they're just like you. They just went through a fire and survived it. Like it was a destructive fire that they had to get out of. If you're gonna give fire, let it be a sexy one. Sexy vibes, intense vibes, but not disheveled or conquering, or I don't know. It's like there's a difference between and I'm here. Like I said, that peace, that silent, stoic, mysterious, just kind of, they seem like, they don't seem like the type of person I can get anything over on, but at the same time, ooh, I really just want to know what's on their mind. See, yeah, so you do have some that are tiptoeing around you because I'm getting you're attractive, even with the red flag. That red energy is primal, so you sexy. You are sexy, so like I said, you might be attractive on the outside. You're attractive, or even your energy could be attractive, but there's so many other things entangled with it that it gives people who may be like making a beeline towards you, it gives them a reason to pause or hesitate. Okay, so something about it could be just a little too high, but I feel like you may have individuals who are really close, like around your perimeter. They're tiptoeing, they're kind of like, I don't want you to catch me looking at you or know for sure that I'm into you, because I'm not sure if I want to take action or if I want to do anything. I'm still trying to fill out your temperament, or I'm still trying to, kind of see where you're at. But at the same, and they're also trying to see if you're doing anything. Like, are you looking for your red flags? Okay. They're like casing you, vetting you from a distance. They don't want to be seen. But for some of you, if you would just temper down that energy a little bit, balance it out a little bit, some of them that are tiptoeing around you would actually just come right in, because that's what they're waiting for. They're kind of just trying to see, they're waiting for some kind of clear realization of what your energy is, what you've got going on, which actually is a good thing. If you do know that, if you can feel or sense that somebody is like close but not close enough, they're not saying anything, or they're not truly approaching, or even if they do approach, it's like just, I don't know, just enough to get your attention, but then they're not doing anything with it, like it's not going anywhere. Actually, those individuals, they may be a good fit for you because they're discerning. Like they're not just rushing ahead into something, and it feels like you have just came to some kind of epiphany where you ain't just taking anything, so you're also very discerning too. So it's actually a good thing, and they're mirroring you in that way. But you just, I don't know, just don't self-sabotage. That's what I feel, is that you could be self-sabotaging some situations. And for some of you too, the illusion that it would cast for you is that those men or women who are not really doing anything, but you still feel them, that they're playing games, or they're just like that past person, when actually they may be just like you. They could just be very discerning too, only they may have already healed their anger issues. They may have already found a way to turn over a new leaf and be at peace. They may have already detached emotionally and mentally, or even physically, so they don't have the kind of connections to that person that you may still, like, I'm just getting, yeah, I don't know, be more open-minded. That's what I'm getting. Be more open-minded about the individuals who are not as fast acting as you would want them to be, or even as they were, previously. Okay, some of you may be realizing now, like, okay, this person ain't did nothing. Like, I'm just realizing, yeah, they're always around, or yeah, they always want me to come here, or yeah, they're always doing this, or they give a little bit of this, or they breadcrumb me, or they text me once in a while, but I'm not really getting anywhere, and you're getting ready to like want to cut this person off. But the reason that you're not getting anywhere is because your energy is temperamental. So it's causing them to kind of stop and go with you depending on your mood. And it could, I mean, honestly, if they're still around and you've been temperamental for a while, that actually shows that they may be more invested. Or like you are just that much, they're that attracted to you that they kind of just want to see when they may get an in with you, when would be a good time for you. It's like somebody that's too busy and they're waiting for that opportunity where that door is open and you're not busy anymore. Or you could be entertaining too many different people right now and they're just waiting for their opportunity when you get rid of them, when you get rid of those who really ain't for you and they have, the opportunity to move. It's just all kind of different reasons. But I feel like there's actually something you're doing or someone you're connecting with that is creating illusion for you when it comes to the dating scene. It's creating an illusion for you to have to see through with other people who could actually be a potential match for you. And it's creating an illusion around you that you're still going through past issues when actually you're overcoming them, but you're staying stuck in that energy. You're not moving forward to your truth. Okay. Because when you figure things out, yes, it does push you forward and it helps you to level up. But first it pisses you off. The truth will piss you off and then it'll set you free. So you need to get to where you're free. Okay. Because currently your energy is still giving off pissed off. Okay. All right. Let's see here with the self-lover. Look at that. Spiritually woke. I love this. Loving yourself, grabbing your own butt because you love yourself. Or if you're a man, I don't know, you pat yourself on the back because you love yourself. Okay, because period. Self-awareness, cutting through illusions. So one or the other, I feel like people are flocking towards you, but again, it could be the people that you're not interested in, and that could have to do with where you're looking, where you're putting yourself out there, where you're connecting, the dating scene that you're going to specifically. And others, it may feel like people are running from you or hiding from you or ghosting you, and it could just be because you are that intuitive. Literally, the card is purple. So that is like high priest or high priestess energy. It means that people can naturally sense that you have the intuitive ability to see through their bullshit. So it's like you could be multifaceted. You could have a multifaceted personality. So, maybe part of your personality is like stoic. I'm just I don't know, gym buff. I'm just I don't know, gamer. I'm just a sports person, sports guy. Females, oh, I'm just a pretty girl. Oh, I'm just a go get it, girl, whatever. I'm just a hustler, that type of energy. That's what they're getting initially. So they're coming toward you because that's kind of relaxed. They can get with that. It's not intimidating, it's not anything. And then you hit them with another version, another side of self, where they say hey, and all of a sudden you're not just the little pretty girl that looks like you don't know what's going on in the world, or you don't you're not paying attention to anything, like you're naive. Now you're hitting them with the side of you that went to school and you've been to college and you're very experienced, or like a male, here's your business side, or you're very, I don't know, well versed, or a lot of books or whatever. And then, or you're very, like, you're knowledgeable of what's going on in society and politics. So they're like, you're hitting them with a different side, and that could be intimidating. So you have people who are ghosting you because they thought you were one thing, but once they realize that you're more than that, it's like they have to take a step back and make sure they're the type of more that you may be looking for. You know, like it doesn't mean that they're not good for you, but you may have some that kind of go away and come back later because it's like they kind of have to reassess themselves. The more you're showing, and that could happen too with people that you've been dating for a while, or you guys have been talking for a while, and that's probably why, because as they're getting to see more sides of you, they're also kind of looking at themselves and seeing how do they line up with that. And for some of you, you know, you should be happy that they took a step back. That actually shows maturity. They didn't want to waste your time or play games with you. Yeah, we have liftoff. Like someone could have, they felt like something could have took off with you really, really quick. Okay, fast action, progression forward. Like basically somebody kind of felt like they your type, you they type. Okay, y'all could probably get it popping tonight. That's how they was feeling. But at the same time, their finances were not in order, or they were not, you know, prepared. They were not in a space where they should be dating, you know, like life was still lifing. Things were still going on. They would not even, maybe they didn't have the time. For some of you, they didn't even have the time to pour into you, so it really would have been that night. And then they don't know when they're going to get back to see you, or they don't know when they're going to have the time to call you, or when you're going to do it again, or that's all they have, okay, is that little bit of time that you guys are going to be in bed together. So somebody could have assessed you initially and was like, okay, cool, they on what I'm on, that's what I'm looking for. But as they get to know you more, it's like, oh, but if I make that move, either they're not going to be up for that, that's going to create tension or create a situation, or they could actually be more invested in you and just not want to, you know, ruffle the feathers until they really can stand up to who they think they would need to be to bag somebody like you. Okay, so that's another thing. Yeah, we have honeymooning, love on the brain, talking often, and feeling all the feels, but it's in reverse. So I also feel like for some of you, you're loving yourself because of an issue like this, where you are aware of someone, you're aware of how you feel, you're also aware of their desire for you, but then you can barely get anything from this person. You can't get no time, you can't get no attention, you can't get a decent conversation, you can't get a friend. You know, this person can't even, I don't know, they can't take you to the mall. Not that they even have to buy you anything. Like, they can't even take you to the mall for you to do your thing. They can't even cook a meal and, you know, I don't know, invite you for that. They can't do a coffee date. They can't do a movie date. I don't know how much the movies is now. I haven't been in a while, but that used to be like one of the cheaper dates that you could do. This may be someone that, you know, you could even be a lot more down to earth and a lot more like friend zone-ish in the beginning of your connection. So, but this is someone who can't even just, you know, buy a bottle and Netflix and DoorDash with you. Like, I'm getting, you may have some, you may be just getting out of a situation where it was like nothing but the feels, or maybe you already had a sexual connection with this person. That's literally all that they're offering is the sex. So they could have ghosted you or separated from you, and that's why, because they're realizing like, I'm gonna completely mess this up. Maybe things are good, maybe things did go fast and you like what you have. They could like it too, but they could also have fear of losing it because of what they aren't giving you, because of what they don't have to do with you, you know. And then you may have some who aren't even trying, and that's why, because they already know it's not going to be enough for you, or this is how they're feeling. And now, whether or not that's your truth, I don't know. Actually, for some of you, you may be holding on to so much information, you may need to be a little bit more open with that. Because you could give off, like I was saying here, something about you could be understated. Actually, the person that is showing more sometimes can be less intimidating than the person that isn't showing enough. And I mean that like, because they have to overthink themselves. There's more to think about. If you're telling everything, if you're showing everything, they already know what time you want. They already know what you care about, what you want, or you're telling them everything. You're giving them all of the information they need to court you, to date you, to attract you. When you aren't given all of this information, or when the information is not that clear, then they're having to ascertain themselves. They're having to use their own intuition to try to figure you out. And for some, you're forcing them to like refine these abilities, the ability to perceive, the ability to be confident, the ability to take a chance. That could be out of their comfort zone. They're used to home runs, okay? They already know before they walk in the door. But my battery's getting